This is a tutorial for giving your answers to an appropriate number of significant figures, which is one of the math skills tested in the GCSE Science exams. By the end of this video, you should be able to recognise how many significant figures a number is given to, and also round your answer to a calculation to a stated number of significant figures. 20% of the marks in the GCSE Science exams are for mathematical skills, and these are listed in an appendix that you can find at the back of the specification after the biology and chemistry and physics content. One of the skills that can be assessed and quite often makes up 1 mark at the end of a calculation question is rounding to an appropriate number of significant figures. Science is a complex subject, and often the answers to our calculations can involve a lot of different numbers, and sometimes it's really not appropriate to give all of those numbers. For one thing, it would just take up too much space. So instead we give an approximate answer, and we do this by rounding the values we have. The simplest form of approximation is rounding to a certain number of decimal places, which is another math skill that we do regularly make use of in science. It's important that you understand when rounding, you're converting your answer to the nearest number, which isn't the same thing as just chopping off anything that comes after that point. Say I've measured 2 masses and one is 1.145 kilograms, but the other is 1.182 kilograms, and I'm asked to give my answers to 1 decimal place. Well, this first one we would be rounding down and we would be saying 1.1 kilogram to 1 decimal place. But the second one we would be rounding up and saying 1.2 kilograms to 1 decimal place, even though both of those numbers, if they're written in their long form, start with 1.1. Rounding to a certain number of significant figures isn't actually harder than rounding to a certain number of decimal places. But sometimes people struggle with it because they're not sure where the significant figures start. This is quite straightforward as long as your number is bigger than 1. So for a number like this one, our first significant figure, the first number that we care about, is the 1 at the start of the number. And then our second significant figure is the 3 that comes after it, and so on and so forth. It's a little bit more challenging though when we have numbers that are less than 1. So a significant figure is the first number that we really care about. And in this case, we don't care about these zeros at the beginning. It's important that they're there, and we're not going to skip them out, but we're going to start counting when we get to non-zero numbers. So in this instance, it's this 1 here. The zeros that come before it are not significant. So if we're asked to round to a certain number of significant figures, we're just going to ignore them. But crucially, it's not that we're ignoring all zeros. The 0 that comes after the 1 is important, and we do count that as a significant figure. So say if we were asked to round 2 significant figures, I would be using that 0. But why do scientists care about significant figures? Well, it's all to do with the precision of our data. Let's say that I tell you that the average distance that some people walk to school is 1.5 kilometres. We all understand that I probably haven't got out a trundle wheel and said it's exactly 1.5 kilometres. What I mean is that it's closer to 1.5 than it is to 1.4 or 1.6. Now that makes complete sense if I'm talking about 2 people who have walked 1.3 kilometres and 1.7 kilometres, and the average of those 2 values is 1.5 kilometres. But let's say instead of having those 2 people, I have 2 other people, and all I know is that one of them has walked 1 kilometre to the nearest kilometre, and another one has walked 2 kilometres to the nearest kilometre. As a non-scientist, you might be tempted to say that the average distance they've walked is 1.5. But that only makes sense if I've measured to the nearest 0.1 kilometre, which here I haven't. Because maybe one of those people has walked 1.242 kilometres and the other one has walked 2.242 kilometres. If I actually have data that's that precise and I work out what the mean is, then their mean distance is 1.742 kilometres. So in which case, the real answer to the nearest 0.1 kilometre would be 1.7, it wouldn't be 1.5. So what we're saying is that our final answer can only be as precise as the data that we've used to calculate it. If all you know is that one person has walked 1 kilometre and one person has walked 2 kilometres, you can't give your final answer to the nearest 0.1. Let's look at some examples of rounding. Here we're asked to round the following numbers to 2 significant figures. That means the one that we're going to look at to see whether we're rounding up or down is going to be the third significant figure. So for this first one, I'm looking at the number 2, that is the third number in. And I'm thinking, is that greater than or less than 5? Here it's less than 5, so therefore we're going to round down. And we're going to replace all of the remaining numbers in that number with zeros. So this is going to become 230,000 to 2 significant figures. Then for our second number, the one that we're going to end up looking at is this number 1. Again, it's less than 5, so we're rounding down. And again, we're going to replace these numbers with zeros, and we get 43,000. Pause the video and have a go at the remaining 3 on your own. For this third one, the third value is greater than 5, so we're going to be rounding up. And therefore we're going to get 760,000 because the 5 is rounded up to be a 6. Then for the next one, we've got another value that is smaller than 5, so we're rounding down and we get 1.4 million. And then we have another value that is greater, so we're rounding up and we get 89,000. When we're thinking about decimal numbers, it's important that we remember that any zeros after the significant figures start count as a significant figure. So that means we can't just replace the numbers with zeros, we actually need to miss them out. So for this first example, 6.125, we're still rounding to 2 significant figures, so we're still looking at the third value. This is less than 5, so we would be rounding down. Now, we might be tempted to give our answer as 6.100, but if we're saying that, then we're saying that it's closer to 6.100 than it is to 6.101 or to 6.099, which isn't what we're saying. So we're going to miss out those 2 zeros and give our answer as 6.1. So for this next one, the value that we're looking at is the 6. That's greater than 5, so we're rounding up. And so we're going to give our answer as 7.5. And again, we're not including additional zeros after that because they would still be significant figures. Then for this next one, 4 is less than 5, so you should have an answer of 3.2. Then 1 is less than 5, so you should have an answer of 8.1. And then lastly, 8 is more than 5, so we should have an answer of 2.39. This time we're going to round these numbers to 3 significant figures, so we're looking at the 4th significant value to decide whether to round up or round down. So for this first example, it's the 2 that we're looking at, and that is less than 5, so we're rounding down. And remember, of course, that we're not just replacing the 2 and the 5 with zeros, we are missing them off. So our answer here is going to be 0.431. Then for the next one, we have a value that is a 5, so that means we need to round up. So the 8 is going to become a 9, and then we miss off the 5 and the 2. Next, we've got a value of a 5, so again, we're going to be rounding up, and we're going to have 0.0413. And then for this next one, just like the previous one, we have got an additional 0 at the start, and you need to remember that that is not a significant figure. So our 4th significant figure is this 3 here, which is less than 5, so we're rounding down, and we're going to get 0.0301. Then we've got a 7, so we're rounding up, so that's going to become 0.0708, and again we miss off the numbers at the end. And then last but not least, we've got a value that is greater than 5, so we're rounding up, so that's going to be 0.201. So what might this look like in an actual GCSE Science question? Here's a physics question. Calculate the work done when a force of 22 newtons is used to move a box over a distance of 17 metres. Give your answer to 2 significant figures. Now the reason we're being asked to do that is that the data we're working from, the 22 newtons and the 17 metres, are both to 2 significant figures. So we start off with our equation, which we can get from the equation sheet. Work done is force times distance. We know that the force is 22 because the units tell us that that's the force, and also in this very nice question it does say the word force. And the distance is 17, and we know that because of the units. We multiply them together to get an answer of 374 joules, and then we need to give it as 2 significant figures. So here we look at the third significant figure, which is the 4, and we see that that is less than 5. So therefore we're going to be rounding down, and we give our answer as 370 joules to 2 significant figures. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you're now feeling a little bit more confident about using significant figures in your GCSE Science exams. If you did find this video useful, then don't forget to like, subscribe, comment and share the channel, and I'll be back soon with some more maths videos for GCSE Science.